Hi, welcome to Muzzle First. So instead of showing you a firearm today or something like that, I thought I would give you a look at Mother Nature. This is a little county park here outside of St. Louis I like to go to. It's kind of unique because they have bison and elk and stuff like that in it that just kind of roam. But they do have hiking trails and stuff in here, so we're not doing anything illegally here. But I wanted to talk to you today about change, and I wanted to show you Mother Nature because right now Mother Nature is going through change, as it does every year. You can see the trees are starting to turn green again. You got the ducks are out. There's turtles out here on this lake. There's a lot of times you'll see elk and stuff out here in the summertime, but everything's turning green again. Everything's coming back to life, and that's the change of seasons. We're going in from the winter season to the spring season, and we'll be in the summer here before you know it. And I want to talk to you about change. And there's a lot of change going on right now. I thought this would be a perfect time for this discussion. And this will only be a brief discussion if I can stay on track. But there's a lot of reasons why I want to talk about change right now. Part of it is the seasons. Everything's turning green. Things are coming back to life. The cold of winter is gone. We're having cool nights still, but summer's pretty much here. It's on its way. Today is April 10th, 2017, and today marks a change in our court systems. Judge Gorsuch, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, is being sworn in today as our new Supreme Court Justice. And Gorsuch is a conservative. He's a diehard conservative. He has a very literal interpretation of the Constitution. No matter what your beliefs are about politics, Gorsuch is a constitutionalist. So you can't fix his view. You can't change his view on politics. You can politic against him. You can politic for change, but you can't politic him out of his views. And I like that. He's not. He won't be bought, which is a good thing. People should be able to stand on their values and on their beliefs, and you should be allowed to have your beliefs, regardless of whether they're the same as mine or not. You should be allowed to have them. And so that is a change that's happening in our court systems, and that's going to have a ripple effect, of course, across all of our courts and possibly our lives. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. In my own personal life, I have a major change coming with my employment. About 2 months ago, my employer announced that they were selling the company, and it's pretty much a done deal. They hadn't inked the deal yet, but it's pretty much a done deal. So that's going to be a change. We are being, I don't really want to say purchased because it's not really the right phrase. And I don't know if you can see this on the camera now, but on the far side of this lake, there actually is an elk out there in the lake, which is pretty cool. But we're being basically purchased by a company that's about 10 times our size. So they have a presence. They are a local competitor. They compete with us, but they actually have campuses across the U.S. So I'm not going to give any names or details on that. If you want details, you can IM me, and I'll give you some more. But that change is going to be good, I think. Overall, I think it'll be a good change. They're going to bring a lot to the table for us. A lot of things that an organization our size can't do. And the costs, an organization that size has a lot more leverage dealing with insurance companies and distributors. When a distributor looks at losing sale to an organization with 100,000 employees as opposed to 5,000, whatever, they tend to take notice more. So I think it'll be good. I have worked for this company before I worked for this company that I work at now, and I have no ill will against them. I have I don't really have any bad feelings about him. I left because of opportunity, really, and more money closer to my home. So we'll see what comes of that. My son also is coming up on a change. He graduates high school this May, so about a month from now, a little over a month, he'll be graduating high school, and he'll close that portion of his life, and he'll move on to whatever's next. I don't think he knows what's next yet. I don't know what he's going to do now. We've discussed college. He wants to do more of a trade school thing, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know that he necessarily knows what he's going to do. And if he doesn't know, I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But that's going to be a major life change for him, and it'll, in some ways affect my life. My life will change a little bit because of it. What else is changing? World's kind of changing. Society's changing. But what I really want to talk about is the way we deal with change. There's three main ways that I see people handle change and to see people address change. You have people who just ignore it. There are people who live their life the way that they've lived their life and always lived their life, and they have no intention on changing, no intention on evolving, and they do it. The world evolves and moves on around them, and they stay in place. They never move on. Part of that is, if you're in a, sometimes within your employment, you get comfortable where you're at, and you will actually pass up opportunities because that opportunity brings about risk. Change brings about risk. Change brings about the unknown. There's an unknown component to change that scares people. It scares some people more than others. But in general, it normally scares people a little bit. And it does me a little bit too. I have to tell you, I'm a little bit concerned about what I'll be doing once this whole change takes place. But I'm confident that I'll be doing something. I just don't know what. And it'll be related to what I do now. It won't be a complete change. They're not going to suddenly tell me that I need to go start repairing cars in a parking lot. That's not going to happen. It'll be related to what I'm doing now. So there's no reason for them to completely cut everybody. They're going to, it's kind of like when you buy a basket of fruit. You may have a couple bad ones in a lot that have to go, but you're going to use the rest. So it's the same deal when companies acquire other companies. There are people who are dead weight, and that will probably have to go. That'll happen. But I don't plan on, I can't ignore it. I'm not going to ignore it. Even though that might be some people's way of handling it. Because it does bring about risk. And if you ignore it, then you can ignore all that risk. You can ignore that change. You can ignore the opportunity that'll bring about that risk, and ignore the unknown. And that's some people's way of handling it. Some people's way of dealing with it is to just ignore it. Pretend that it's not happening. I don't recommend you do that. That is not the best way to handle it. Another thing that people tend to do with change is to fight it. Tooth and nail. Some people will just holler and throw a fit. I'm not doing that no matter what. And that usually doesn't work out. That causes problems for the people who are fighting it. It causes problems for the people who are embracing that change. It causes problems for the people who are even ignoring the change because they're causing a commotion in the organization. And I'm talking to organization here because it's a little simpler than talking, society-wise. But the same applies to society. There are people who fight a new president coming in. There are people who fight a new way of doing things. Look at when the automobile was invented. There were people who refused to use it that still wanted to use a horse. They didn't win. Change is going to happen. You can't stop it. You can fight it if you want. You can ignore it, but you can't stop it. What you can do is, what I feel the best way of handling change is to embrace that change and try to make that change the best change you can make for you. There's a lot of things that you do, like I'll talk about an employer again. There's a lot of things that you do at a job that's for the employer. You have to protect the company that you work for. It's in your best interest as an employee that your company survive and excel. The company does good, the employees do good. It's just the way that things are. It's the way things work. But when you're dealing with a change like a change of employer, you have an opportunity to make that change the best change that you can make it for you. And let's talk about the judge, Gorsuch, just being sworn in today. There are some Supreme Court justices that are going to fight him tooth and nail, all the way. And everything he wants to do, they're going to be negative on, down on. Just like we see with the president. No matter what he does, there are people that are going to hate him for doing it. And the same thing's going to be with Gorsuch. There are people that just fight it tooth and nail. Not necessarily because it directly affects them, just because it goes against something that they want to stand for. We see that in employment as well, with a set of companies. What I would encourage you to do is to drive the change. To try to make the change what you can, the best you can make that change for you and where you are in life and where you want to go in life. You should have an idea of what you want to do, where you want to go. A lot of times, like I'll take my son example, graduating high school. He has no clue what he wants to do. He's talked about a couple things. He's experimented with a couple different things, but we keep coming back to working with computers, because that's what I do for a living, and it kind of comes natural to him. It's the same way I got into doing it. I didn't necessarily plan life to be what I'm doing now. I did it because I could, and I found it easy, and I found it intriguing and entertaining and fun. And I think my son is kind of headed down the same path, although I don't think he necessarily has accepted that or is planning on doing that. But we've already talked about some things he can do now. So that's what I would encourage you to do. I don't really want to drag this on much longer. I'm going to try and close it out here, but change happens. To kind of summarize here, change happens. You can't stop it, but you can steer it. You can guide it. You can make that change the best change for you. And that's what I would encourage you to do with life, everything in life. Your life as it stands right now will change, regardless of you doing anything. You can sit in a chair and stare at the grass for the rest of your life, and your life will change. Eventually, we all pass away. That is a change. You can't avoid that change. You can make that change the best for you and the best for your people around you, but you can't avoid it. So that's it. That's all I really want to talk about today. Embrace it. Embrace life. Embrace change. Embrace Mother Nature. I mean, it's a great time to be outside and getting ready for the summer. You should be getting your seasons are changing. You should be getting things in your life ready for the heat of the summer. For me, that means cleaning out the air conditioning and getting things ready around the house, getting the garden ready, things like that. You should be doing that now. You should be getting that ready for the summer. Instead of waiting for the summer to come up on you and you're suddenly hustling to get caught up, get out in front of it. Make it the best that you can make it. Make this summer the best that you can make it. Make your life the best that you can make it. And do it now. Don't wait. Life is too short. Life is too short to just ignore it and let it pass. Grab a hold of it. Take it by the horns and guide it the whole way. This has been Muzzle First. If you found this beneficial, let me know. If you really want to help my channel, I don't want your money. Watch the ads on my videos is the most I would ask of you. Like, subscribe, share. If you want to help my channel share my videos, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it. That's all I ask of you. Thank you, and you have a good day.